Step into a world where identity is fluid, borders blur, and the soul seeks truth in the vast, unforgiving sands. We journey today into the extraordinary, enigmatic life of Isabel Eberhardt, a woman who defied every convention to find freedom and belonging in the heart of the Sahara. Prepare to be captivated by a spirit as boundless as the desert itself. Born into a tumultuous, unconventional family in Geneva, Switzerland, Isabel's early life was anything but ordinary. Her father, a former Russian anarchist, instilled in her a deep distrust of authority and a fierce independent streak. Her mother, an aristocratic Russian, provided a complex backdrop of privilege and intellectual intensity. This environment fostered a brilliant, multilingual mind, but also a profound sense of alienation from European society. Isabel devoured books, mastering languages and history, yet felt an undeniable pull towards something more authentic, something wilder than the drawing rooms of Europe. The seeds of her future rebellion were sown in this fertile, yet restless ground. From a young age, Isabel was drawn to North Africa, particularly Algeria. It wasn't just a romantic fascination. It was a deep, visceral yearning for a place where she felt she could truly breathe. The rigid social structures and hypocrisy of Europe suffocated her spirit. Algeria represented escape, authenticity, and a connection to something ancient and profound. It promised a life lived on her own terms, far from the expectations placed upon a woman of her time. This wasn't mere wanderlust. It was a spiritual imperative, a quest for self in a land she felt calling her name. Perhaps the most striking aspect of Isabel's life was her decision to live as a man, Si Mahmoud Sadi in North Africa. This wasn't a disguise for convenience. It was a profound transformation, an embodiment of a truer self she felt she could only express outside the confines of Western gender roles. She adopted male dress, mannerisms, and identity. This allowed her unparalleled access to male-dominated spaces, from Sufi brotherhoods to desert encampments, offering a unique perspective on Algerian society under French colonial rule. It was a radical act of self-creation, born from the deep need for freedom and a rejection of the limitations imposed by her birth identity. This choice was both liberating and fraught with peril, adding layers of mystery to her already complex persona. As Si Mahmoud, Isabel embarked on extensive travels across Algeria and Tunisia. She wasn't a tourist, she was a pilgrim, a seeker, immersing herself completely in the lives of the people she met. She lived among nomads, shared their meager meals, and slept under the vast desert sky. Her journeys were not just physical, they were spiritual and intellectual explorations. She sought out Sufi mystics, participated in religious ceremonies, and engaged in deep conversations about faith and life. These travels formed the bedrock of her prolific writing, capturing the essence of a world rarely seen through such intimate, empathetic eyes. Despite her nomadic lifestyle, Isabel was a prolific writer. She filled notebooks with observations, reflections, and stories, capturing the harsh beauty of the desert and the complex lives of its inhabitants. Her writing is raw, poetic, and deeply personal, blurring the lines between fiction and autobiography. Her works, often published posthumously, offer a unique window into early 20th century North Africa. They are not just travelogues. They are character studies, spiritual musings, and critiques of colonialism, all filtered through her singular, empathetic perspective. Literary scholars find in her work a fascinating blend of European intellectualism and North African sensibility. Isabel's conversion to Islam was a deeply personal and significant step. It wasn't a superficial adoption of customs, but a genuine embrace of a faith that resonated with her spiritual quest. She found solace and community within the Sufi brotherhoods, particularly the Qadiriya order. Her involvement with these brotherhoods was more than religious, it was also political. These groups often held significant influence and sometimes resisted French colonial authority. Isabel navigated this complex landscape, her faith intertwining with her political sympathies and her desire for a more just world. Living in Algeria during the height of French colonization placed Isabel in a precarious position. She was European by birth, but deeply sympathetic to the Algerian people and critical of French rule. Her writings often subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, highlighted the injustices and cultural misunderstandings inherent in the colonial project. Her unique position, moving between European and indigenous circles, made her both a valuable observer and a suspicious figure to both sides. She was a bridge, yet also an outsider everywhere, a testament to the complexities of identity and allegiance in a colonized land. Her life provides a compelling historical context for understanding this era. Isabel's life was marked by danger and intrigue. Her unconventional lifestyle, her political views, and her association with various groups made her a target. She survived an assassination attempt in 1901, stabbed by a fanatic who saw her as a disruptive influence. This incident only seemed to deepen her resolve and her connection to the land and its people. The constant threat added a layer of mystery and intensity to her existence, highlighting the risks she willingly took in pursuit of her truth. Her story is a thrilling, sometimes terrifying, biographical documentary of a life lived on the edge. Amidst the travels and political complexities, Isabel found love. She married Slimane Eni, an Algerian soldier in the French army. Their relationship was another defiance of societal norms, bridging cultural and racial divides in a colonial context. Their bond provided her with a sense of belonging and stability, a rare anchor in her otherwise restless life. Slimane understood her need for freedom and her connection to the desert, offering support and companionship on her unconventional path. Their love story is a poignant thread in the tapestry of her life. Isabel's life came to a sudden and tragic end in October 1904. She was in Ain Sefra with Slimane when a sudden, violent flash flood swept through the town. Their small house, built of mud brick, collapsed, burying them in the debris. Slimane survived, but Isabel did not. She was just 27 years old. Her death was as dramatic and unpredictable as her life, a cruel twist of fate that silenced a unique voice far too soon. The mystery of her life is compounded by the abruptness of its end. Isabel Eberhardt's legacy is multifaceted and enduring. She is remembered as a fearless traveler, a pioneering female writer who broke boundaries, and a complex figure who challenged notions of gender, identity, and culture. Her life continues to fascinate biographers and cultural explorers. Her writings remain a valuable resource for understanding North Africa at the turn of the century, offering insights into its people, spirituality, and the impact of colonialism. Literary scholars continue to analyze her unique voice and perspective. She stands as an icon for those who dare to live authentically, regardless of societal constraints. Isabel Eberhardt's story resonates deeply today, in a world still grappling with issues of identity, belonging, and cultural understanding. Her life offers a powerful example of courage and self-discovery. She reminds us that the most profound journeys are often those taken within, reflected in the landscapes we choose to inhabit. Her willingness to shed conventional expectations and embrace a life of her own making is an inspiration. She was a woman who lived fully, passionately, and authentically, leaving behind a legacy that continues to challenge and inspire us to explore the world and ourselves with open hearts and minds. Isabel Eberhardt's life is a vast, compelling landscape waiting to be explored. If her journey has ignited your curiosity, don't stop here. Seek out her writings, read her biographies, and delve into the history of the North African world she loved so fiercely. Uncover the layers of this extraordinary woman, the nomad, the mystic, the rebel, and let her story inspire your own explorations, whether through books, travel, or simply by questioning the boundaries in your own life. The desert awaits.